I'm Phil de Glanville, I'm the Head of Delivery for Sport England in the South West region. Sport England's role is to get more people taking part in sport and active recreation and keep them taking part in sport and active recreation. That is our raison d'etre as an organisation. Part of the way that we're aspiring to do that is through the creation of this delivery system for sport. And at a county level, the best organisations that are most appropriately placed to know what's going to work in their counties are county sport partnerships. They are part of this delivery system operating at a county level, and they are the best place to know what's going to work in their counties. We work very closely in partnership with them. We're all aligned behind the common purpose of getting more people taking part in sport and active recreation and keeping them there.
My name's John Stevens. I'm Chief Executive of Active Gloucestershire, which is the county sports partnership for the county of Gloucestershire. There are 49 county sports partnerships in England. They have three key roles to play, but the outcome we're working towards can be described as increasing participation in sport and physical activity in the community, and to put in place pathways so people can sustain that participation and fulfil their potential. I mean, we're very blessed in Gloucestershire with some fantastic natural countryside and good access to it by and large. I mean, if you live in the city, you've got a linear footpath along the canal towpath, virtually right into the centre of the city of Gloucester. Forest of Dean's a great area, Cotswold. So we actually have some really good natural facilities, and we need to do more to enable people to take part in appropriate activities in there. About 49–50% of the population in the county have no active involvement in sport and physical activity whatsoever, and they will be probably experiencing now or in later life negative health situations that, if we can help them to become more involved on a regular basis, might be alleviated.
The main thing is having a responsibility to your own health and fitness, having a healthy lifestyle so that you can choose to live your life in the way you wish to live it and not have your health dictate to you how you should live it. From the very start, when the centre opened 25 years ago, it was clear to me that there was a need and a future in fitness centres being used for GP referrals. We would have people, even then in 1982, sent to us by local physios for exercise because they had a back condition. Over the years, we've developed that GP referral exercise system ourselves, and we have a very good reputation among the local doctors and health centres in this area for doing it. In our centre, we cater for age groups from the age of 14, key stage 4, year 11 in education, right up open-ended to 90 plus, both genders, and people with full ranges of medical considerations, disabilities, special needs, sports people. It's very comprehensive, and it really encompasses full inclusion in exercise and fitness training. If the national health and the health education bodies are saying to people, take responsibility, look after yourself, you should be exercising 5 times a week, half an hour. Well, the facilities have got to be there to encompass it. Not everyone can go for a walk in the woods. Not everyone can ride a bike around their local area. You really need these facilities, very important. It's giving people back their quality of life. And that, to me, is the most important value of the work that I do.
At a very early age, we have a scheme in the children's centres in the county, working funded by the local education authority, the county council. That's quite innovative because that's actually introducing fundamental movement skills to very young children. And if we can start that, then when they move into schools, they're beginning already to have a good basis and hopefully a good interest. You know, there are many examples of young people whose path through life has been changed by becoming involved in sport.
Bishop's College is a very unique education institution. It works with students from across the city and really works with those students that find academic learning quite difficult and actually are very much more kinesthetic in the way that they approach their learning. So what sport allows them to do is develop much more and develop their social skills much more, and gives them an outlet for their behavioural issues if they have them. So it provides that teamwork element, it provides those social skills, gives them self-worth and self-belief that they can actually translate into life skills when they leave school. In my experience, certainly within a secondary environment, this is where they learn how they're going to be. So when they leave school, they will have made most of the decisions about how they're going to behave in their lives formatively in their secondary education. And that's why embedding that within what they're doing is so important. What we also do as well is we provide the enrichment opportunity after school. So when the students finish here at 2:40, they have the opportunity to participate in a whole range of student-focused and student-delivered activities that they've been involved in designing and developing themselves. And we then allow them, or we then ensure that we bring in external coaches into schools so that we have that kind of school-to-community link. I suppose if you were to ask me in 5 years' time where would I have wanted this project to be, it would have been much more about, yes, impacting on teaching and learning and profile of physical education, but also about really enriching those students' lives so that when they're not in school and they actually leave the school gates, for whether they leave at the end of their school career or whether they leave at the end of the day, that they make the choices to be much more physically active in their lives.
You know, most sport and physical activity takes place locally. It takes place in a small community. It's not for the vast majority of the population, it's not something where they all travel to one venue to come together. They take place, they do things in their local community. And often that's very small groups of like-minded individuals led by volunteers, often quite hard-pressed for time and resource, and we need to find ways of actually supporting them, recognising them, help them to do what they do better, help them to keep them involved in doing that, and acknowledge and celebrate what they do.
Start off slowly, say run out for no more than 7 minutes from when you start, turn around, meet you by the lake in about a quarter of an hour's time. Going out on your own, especially in the winter, in the autumn, in the wet, in the dark, it's a bit unnerving. And so Women's Running Network meets every week with a group of people who go out. We cope with every single level, from pure starters to people who can run marathons and do, but we do it in a way which is really social. And which makes fun, basically, of what is anyway a really enjoyable activity. All you need is a nice pair of shoes.
I would hate to run with a group that I felt I couldn't keep up with and that weren't going to wait for me and weren't going to encourage me. I don't know if other groups are like that, but I find the Women's Running Network is very supportive for that.
Perhaps there is this image of athletics clubs being this real hardcore kind of really focused, and I think what's nice about this is it's kind of a combination of the two. So it's, you're still getting that focus and that direction, but at the same time you're getting contact with other people that live in your local area, and it becomes something sociable as well.
But something like running can have a bad reputation for being too competitive. We want to make it feel like and be like a real fun activity that anybody can do. And what Women's Running Network does is it works to a known need, which is the large numbers of women out there who would love to get back into some activity, and it just hits that spot. It's a really good niche for small group work in a supportive environment.
The most important thing for us is to get all the organisations, public, private, not-for-profit, voluntary, that are doing sport and physical activity or are in a position to do some sport and physical activity to try and work together. It's actually ultimately it's about making friends and influencing people. It's this personal interaction, the personal relationship that you develop with people, because it's people who make things happen. If you want to get involved, there's a wealth of information, and probably your first port of call I would suggest would be to go to your local authority website in your community and look for the information to be on there, and that may be about pay and play sessions in local authority facilities, maybe lists of sports clubs with contact numbers or contact email addresses. So there's a wealth of information there. If you can't find anything there, then come to us on our website and we'll see what we can do to help you.